What do you think, Brian? How long would you
Well,
like?
I think we can go ahead and get started.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Hello, and welcome to the third of our series of four webinars where we'll be discussing transitioning your studio to online photo sales. My name is Tari Keller. I'm the Sports and Events Product Manager for Black River Imaging, and I'll be your host as we see how easy and profitable it can be to take advantage of the new technology that's increasingly in demand. Now, there are several really terrific options out there for online photo sales, but our focus in these webinars is the Photoday platform and all the wonderful things it brings your studio. Joining me today is my colleague, Philip Buckley. He's our sports and
Hi.
events. He's our sports and events specialist at Black River Imaging, and he'll be manning the Q&A during the discussion and during the Q&A section as well. On that note, we'd like to ask, if you'd like to ask questions, please do use the Q&A button on your Zoom console instead of putting your questions in the chat. The chat rolls by really quickly, and the Q&A is really more permanent, so we don't want to miss your important questions. All right, so here we go. Welcome back, our own Photoday Trailblazer and PD100 hashtag crusher, Brian Derenski. Hello, Brian. How are you today?
Good, we're doing good, Terry.
Welcome back. Okay, so in the first two episodes, the first episode we talked about getting started with Photoday. We gave them tips and tricks, things you need to know for your shoot, how to market. The second episode, we talked about creating packages that really drive those sales up to that next package.
Right.
And I think that's all really terrific information. So today, what we're going to discuss is the Capture app. It's a beautiful thing. It's a life changer. Love it. Before we get into the Capture app proper, though, we need to have a little discussion about galleries. Am I right, Brian?
Yeah, there's three types of galleries currently that Photoday has that you can set up for your jobs. First one really is, the public gallery, which that's the easiest one to use. It's really more for, sorry, my screen went full screen when you did that. It's really for large large gatherings, events. You can use it for wedding reception photos. You can use it for all kinds of things. Any kind of use case you can imagine for just a public gallery. So that means anybody with the link can go in. They don't need a gallery code of any kind. So there's no communication that needs to happen. And it's just a lot easier for large galleries or large amounts of photos that people are going to sift through. So I do some events as well, and that's what I use for it as a public gallery. I just post it, or I put a QR code on a poster or whatever, so people can know how to get to the photos, and that just takes them right to the gallery once it's published. So yeah, you don't have to have any data beforehand. So what else can we use that for? Race photos. So any
I'm
kind of
thinking
5Ks.
action shots,
Yeah,
action
you can use
shots.
it for action. A lot of people use it for action shots. And
Mhm.
all of these galleries, there are three commonalities, and that is how you can sort or
Mhm.
sort your images, or have the client or customer sort their images. And basically, it's find all photos. Which, if you're doing a large event, that's hundreds or thousands of photos. You really don't want to have to make them do that. You'd like to give them another better way. So they've got tags. Of course, you can just set up tags for however you want. If it's like, say, a dance recital, you can set it up by which dance it was. So you took pictures,
Mhm.
for this particular event or this particular dance. Um, and that helps parents find, well, my daughter wasn't in all these other ones, so I'll search in this one. That's a nice way to organize it. And then, of course, you can always use FaceFind. And FaceFind is, probably the number one piece of technology that Photoday is bringing to the table with the Capture app, and that's how everything, that's where the rubber meets the road, is per se, is the Capture app and FaceFind. So that technology allows them to just search by a photo, so they can just take a picture of their kid and just hit send, and it'll map it to that, and it'll search the entire gallery for all their kid, all the images that have their kid in it, and that's all they see. That helps them find what they want faster. And it's really just this. It's just a nice, easy gallery for all-purpose usage. So, second gallery they have is group gallery. Now that's kind of more for if you want to limit access to the images. You want it to be specific to a group, and that way not everyone has just wide open access. You're trying to be a little bit more careful about keeping their images private, and but giving a group an access. So it's great for sports. It's great for dance. It's great for, well, what else? Um, Really, I don't know. I'm
Any
kind of drawing a
events, I
blank.
think.
Yeah, those two things are fantastic for, or any other thing where you are limiting. So Cub Scouts, scouting, it's
Hmm.
great for.
Hmm.
You can sort and organize things out, but give the troop or pack one one code to get into the gallery. It's also easier to market that particular gallery because now you've got one code. You can set up all the marketing materials from Photoday that's already in your marketing tab.
Hmm.
So the posters and the banners, and just that way that code is up there and people know what it is and they can get in there. It's really easy for that particular process to help market.
Good for
Uh,
professional organizations as well. The
yeah,
police
if you're doing even
forces
with
and
if you're
fire
doing
departments.
headshots and say it's a corporate deal and they've got different divisions, you can divide it out by division so they can find
Mhm.
their particular headshot.
Yep.
It's yeah, you can just send them a whole send the whole league or a whole organization a single code to access the gallery. And then we fall into the best part of the photo day that I feel right now is private galleries. This is where it used to be called, or was going to be called at one point. They were considering calling it Photo Day Schools and being a completely different product. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad it's just all part of the Photo Day app. Um, but it's a unique access code for everyone, so everybody gets their own private code. With that, you need to gather data so that you can get each person their own gallery code. Otherwise, you're printing out, gallery codes to give to people, and that kind of defeats the purpose of
Right.
going paperless. And so, you obviously use the face find. That is for you to use. That is what sorts them into their own gallery. Of course, this is all data based, so you need to get a roster or list of people with their emails attached so that you can market this out to them and get them that information. Um, Only those with the code can access that particular gallery, and it's randomly generated automatically through the gallery through your app. It's great for graduation photos. It's great for school portraits. It's really kind of geared for that. Dance
Hmm.
academies as well. It's still great
Hmm.
for all of those things.
Hmm.
Um, but that way you don't have to worry about the inevitability of, okay, so you took 15 photos of Susie, but you didn't take 15 photos of Johnny, and now Johnny and Susie don't have the same. He's only got 12. Why did Johnny only get 12 photos? Well, you can't tell him that Susie
It
had a
just
cuter
happened that way.
smile, so Johnny was picking his nose, and I had to delete the two that he was picking his nose. Um, you don't have to explain that stuff, and you don't have to get into that fight. That's an inevitable thing that happens every time. Um, so that helps really mitigate that complication. So um, it allows you to market earlier as well, and you have to market earlier, and that's part and parcel of the marketing tab. Is there are flyers you send out, and
Mhm.
that's really where you need the emails to get that so that it's automated. That way you don't have to mess with printing things out. um, and you can send that out ahead of time. It also helps, those flyers also, you incorporate the advance pays into that sales driver. But that's
And
really
also remember all of this information, this goes into the customer relationship management section of PhotoDay, and
yep,
that comes in handy for those promos afterwards and
yep,
all of that. It extends that buying period. Watch episode 2 to learn more about that.
yep. We got to go back to promos. So yeah, that's really, you need that email. You need that contact information.
And it's really not that hard to get, but
No, no,
you
it's
can.
not. And you sometimes do get pushback. So you know, but we'll talk about how to get that in a little bit. How to get past that. So I
Okay,
guess
so
we're
do
going to
you
talk
want to
about,
talk about the workflow?
yeah. Let's talk about workflow.
All right.
Well,
Let's
here's a
have
little
a look
video.
at it.
It's as simple as this. I stood up. I asked the kid his name. He goes, "Yeah, I'm so and so." I found his name in the list. Reference photo. Bam. All right, kid, head up there and let's go take your photo. And then that's as simple as it was. I took, what, 10, 12 shots of him holding the bat, the glove, all of that stuff, smiling, game face, you name it. And then he was out the door.
Yep.
And then I did that with the next kid. As he was leaving, I pulled up the next kid, and it was just simple. So,
I was amazed at how simple that was and how utterly I was at that shoot, and I was amazed. It looked like utter chaos. It would have driven me crazy. Nobody was standing in a line. Everybody was just milling around, and out of that came this beautiful, music, I guess.
all of this organization, it was nice and
All of
clean.
this
And,
organization, it was lovely.
it was chaos behind me, and then in front of the lens, it was, easy peasy. Um, so it started out with everybody in a line, but as the shoot progresses, your line gets closer and closer because 9 times out of 10 they're going to harass the kid that's up there. So you spend a little time with them, laughing
Mhm.
and stuff. And I'm still taking photos the whole time. I don't care if they're razzing them or whatever. I inevitably get a decent smile
We
out of them,
were
especially when they're laughing.
we were filming you and we were photographing you, and they thought you were big stuff, so they thought, well, they better pay
Yeah, they
attention.
started to
So
come in and find out what's all this video stuff about. What are you doing?
yeah, I think that's
Can we be
funny,
part of this? I'm like, you're already part of it,
right?
kid.
You already are. You have no
Um,
idea.
but yeah, so before the shoot, okay, so before all of that happened, before all that, like, simplicity, chaos behind me, and simplicity at the point of taking photos, all of it is really managed by organizing and setting up your job in Photoday, and then uploading a CSV spreadsheet with your data. And that can be a roster. It basically, you don't even need parent emails, or sorry, you don't need parent names, just their emails. So a basic roster, first and last name, what age group, division, whatever other information you want um, to include. School ID, there's a spot for that. There's teacher or classroom. All of these fields are included and can be mapped with whatever. So your spreadsheet doesn't have to have all of it in the same order. You're going to map that data to where it needs to go. It's pretty smart though. It figures out, oh, that's a first name. Oh, that's a last name. It'll read your header on there if you've got a header for each row or each column. It'll read it and kind of try to figure it out, but you approve it before you send it up there. There are also either two or three mappable or custom fields. So they're called other, but you can put your own special modifier in there. So whatever you want to search by as you're taking your photos, it can be division, it could be age group, or any kind of other custom. It could be den. There's nothing in there for den, so it could be den 5, den 12,
Mm-hmm.
den 14. Um, however you want to break it up. So then you sync that by uploading it into the people data section of the gallery. So you go to photos, and right next to it, it's empty. It says upload photos or add people data in the left hand column. And that's where you upload your CSV file. And then it syncs with the cloud. And then you open your capture app, and that automatically looks for any jobs inside your account that are private gallery jobs, and it lists them and syncs up the data to the capture app almost immediately. So it's pretty quick. If you don't have that data, it's just as simple as setting up the photo day job, and you can sync the app with the job. Then you're collecting that data at the point of photography. So on picture day, you're picking up that data. You've got an assistant or two or three or five, and they're just running out with whatever device you have available.
Mm-hmm.
But Android or Apple, it won't work on Chrome devices. So the Google Pixel phone or whatever, it doesn't work on that. But any device, and it can be any generation. I mean, I've got an old iPad 2 here. I've got an iPad Mini. Um, I've got several phones. I've got an iPhone 6 that's just sitting here doing nothing. So I loaded the capture app on it, and if I need three helpers, I just give them all a device and log in, and they are all synced to it. And every image they take for a reference photo is synced up automatically. So
That's
you can really
awesome.
run multiple people, multiple stations at a time.
Terrific.
So,
Yes, absolutely.
so that's really kind of before before the shoot. During the shoot, it's as simple as what we just showed you. Just literally, you walk up, you ask them their name, you find their name on the roster. You say okay, you click it and you hold it up. And there's a little dotted green line that's it's an oval, and you fill the oval with the face, and you take a shot. Make sure it's well lit. Make sure there's no hats that are causing shadows down to here. Don't be so far away that it's hard to see. You
Right.
really do need to fill that oval with the face, the full face, and the closer the better. So well lit, clean photos are the kind of the key to make sure that this really goes well. And then you just take the high res photos and you upload later when you get home. So move on to the next subject. Now, if you're not got all that information and you're still having to do it, your assistants are running around and they are collecting that data. Hopefully, there's a parent there that can give you an email address. Most of the high school stuff, I demand a roster with an email. I need contacts, so I can't do it without it. It's kind of I will postpone a photo shoot if I don't have the roster, and that's kind of me pushing the coaches because they just don't they don't want to give it to you. They
Yeah.
don't want the extra step. But you tell them, hey, I have to have it to make this work. If not, I'm going to have to postpone the shoot until I have it. And amazing how fast you get an email with a roster in it. Um,
Right. Exactly.
so
Because mom and
and
dad want their pictures. They
yeah,
want their pictures of their athletes every year.
yeah,
You know.
absolutely. So the better, the faster I can work, the faster they get back to practice. So
Did you want to show them the
yeah,
screenshot with this?
let me go ahead and pull that up. I'm gonna get this out of the way.
Hmm.
Bring up my phone here. Make sure it's on. All right.
And then you should be able to share and take over.
Yep. I'm sharing my screen right now. This will stop other screen sharing, so you're done. It's all me now.
I'll take it back over.
All righty. All right. So this is the Capture app. This is what it looks like when you open it up on your phone or your tablet or whatever. Right now it's a phone because it's vertical. Um, so here's my Capture app demo, and you'll see there's no people to be found. I've already gone ahead and uploaded my reference photos to this, but just for fun, I need to add somebody. Well, let's add me. And grade old.
Old grade.
All right, so I've added myself. It's as simple as that. I didn't add an email because I don't really care to do that right now. But so now I select myself, and guess what? We're gonna have to turn around here. Okay, old boy. There we go. I've been captured. Okay, it just synced that literally as we were talking
Just right there. I saw that. I
with the
saw that
cloud.
happen. That's awesome.
Let's see if I can. I'm going to stop this share. It's as simple as that. That's all there is. So if we go into checked in, so anybody that's left that you haven't checked in is still in this field here. Right now, there's no students found. It says students,
Got
but
it.
that's where that whole. It was used to going to be a school only
And by
app.
checking in, you mean you're
You're taking
finding
the
them
reference
in the
photo.
roster, taking the reference
You've
photo.
seen them and you've taken their reference photo, and that's how you know they've checked in. So
Yep.
these are the people that have checked in. And so you can tell, okay, and if you need to, you can literally mark someone absent. Now I'm here, but you could say, okay, he was absent. Even if you get a reference photo, the kid turns around, walks away without his photo taken, you're like, oh, well, I guess he didn't show up. So you can mark him
Right.
absent. That way you know, and you can say, hey, coach, I need to see so and so before he leaves. So just a kind of a way to manage it.
Right.
So I'm going to stop sharing this one. Let me pull up. We're going to do this real time. This is going to be
That's
fun.
perfectly fine.
All right, so Photoday Studio, share, and I can't see my own screen now. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, here we are. Just get this stuff out of the way. All right, so I haven't uploaded these photos yet, but there you can see this was not in this. This is literally my job screen for the Capture app demo that we're doing. I literally just took this photo. It wasn't in there today.
Right.
So now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add some photos to this. literally right here on the fly, I'm going to upload a folder full of photos. Yep, there we go. Nope, that's not the one. Capture app demo files, composites. There we go. Yep. This will take about
Oh,
a minute
good.
and a
We'll get
half.
to show off. We're going to get to show off Brian's work. I love your work. I think it's beautiful.
Thanks. We are, yeah, it'll take about a minute. I'm lucky I have quantum fiber, so I've got gigabit speed up and down. So there's
That I was going to say that's
109 photos.
rocket.
Well, and who knows? Because I'm streaming right now, this may not go as fast as I'd like it to. But this is the
We
beauty
may
of
have
doing it live.
spoken too soon. So this is it. You've
Yep,
seen
this is it. If it
live.
goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It may not go. We'll see. It may be uploading and it's not showing it on the screen here. So, but I did it like 3 times before we did this.
Mm-hmm.
Minute and 20 seconds to do all 109 photos. Oh, there you go. There's now they're starting. So
I see that.
So you're seeing them populate here live. So, and you can see there's a little face down here. In this drop down, you'll see unmatched and matched. So right now there's 2 unmatched. It hasn't quite done its thing yet.
It's got to get them uploaded before it matches.
Well, they're good. It just matched 2 of Billy Martin.
Awesome.
So it's matching
Any
them as
baseball
we're
fans
going
out there?
So let's see.
Awesome.
Yep. I'm waiting to see if it finds Houston. We have a problem. Some files could not be uploaded. Only one. That's okay.
Well, at least that's a cool.
I can guarantee you that is the photo of me that's not uploading. So, and if you have that, you get a list. It'll tell you at the end of this that that was the photo that's missing, and you can go ahead and retry it. And if it's missing, you just go ahead and re-upload. Okay, now it's pulling them in.
Wow, now we're cooking with grease. Look at that.
Yep. And so here you can see how many photos are in. What?
Go ahead. What?
So you can see how many are here, and you
see.
can pull this down, and it's literally matching and then unmatching them.
Okay, so now let me ask you a question. What I'm noticing in this gallery here is the reference photo also being uploaded at the same time?
No, because I used the exact same images from a previous gallery. It shows, and the way I had to do this for this demo only was I had to choose a photo as its reference photo. It does not, there's no way currently to pull your existing reference photos from another gallery and put them into a new gallery to use them again. So the only way around it, and that's a workaround. So yeah, this one doesn't actually need to be in here.
That's Brian. If you guys need to know workarounds and that sort of stuff,
I can't take 100% credit for that one because I could not figure out why this was doing it. I had to have both Lisa Malice and Stella Crace tell me why it was doing this. So, and they do this all. Stella does this all the time. But those that shoot schools, you can literally reuse the photos you had. You know,
the year. That's what you said. The year before.
Yeah, you can choose the data from the year before and your featured image. So there's a way to feature an image. You use a little star in the gallery, and that becomes your feature image. That feature image will come out as when you export it using, I think, service data. So serviceable items, so like ID cards and whatnot. That's the image that's going to go on all those cards or any other yearbook photos. That's how you're going to export for yearbook photos.
So no taking reference photos.
And then, then you can upload. It exports with a thumbnail of each one of these photos. Not each one, but each of your featured photos. And then you just upload it back into your new gallery.
I see. Okay, so now I see what's going on. Okay.
So you've got all your data and your classroom and all that stuff, and you've still got this, and you don't have to collect necessarily all of the data, but you can then start using the absent thing where, some kid doesn't show up or isn't at school that day, they're absent, and they're going to have to come to retake day. So now you can communicate that.
Right. So I see what's going on here. We're uploading images, and as they're uploading, so Joe Gordon has 14, Mark Koenig has 8, Billy Martin has 18. That's awesome. So it's matching, and that's terrific. There you go.
Yep.
That's all
And
that.
now they're
Here's
matched.
your
So
money
there's
envelope.
103 photos. Let's see, done. Yeah, Brian Derenski has none. Oh, that's just my reference photo. That's it. Apparently, I didn't get that one. That was the one that didn't upload, and
Poor
that's fine.
sad Brian.
Oh, nope, there it is. It just took a minute. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Literally did it
Yeah, if I
live.
see that, that's awesome. Well, you saw
There's
it
me and
live.
Stella. That was us down at in Florida at the last boat ride boot camp. So
That's awesome. That's
anyway,
terrific.
but now you can go in here. It says there's 5 unmatched, but because Stella is not in here as a reference photo, I can literally tell it to, okay, so I'm going to hit this one. I'm going to use this. Now I can match it. So this is the face that I need to ignore. Done. Now
Oh,
it's not unmatched anymore.
got it.
So that's really
Bamboo.
helpful. Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
super helpful.
so these guys all have their photos in here and they're all matched. So nothing is mismatched. Everything is done. Ignored faces is one. I ignored her. And that's it. So
That's not be rude. Don't ignore people. No.
anyway, that was,
That's really terrific.
I was glad that it finally finished uploading. It's only because I'm sucking up, Zoom is sucking up awful lot of
Right.
bandwidth. So
Right. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our presentation and then let's talk about what happens or how to avoid that pushback on that data.
well, the way I do it is it's just mandatory. It's required. It's a requirement for me to shoot your job. Um, it's the only way that I can provide the level of service and the experience that you want for your students, your team, all of that for it to go smoothly and quickly. That's how I just tell them it's mandatory. Um, you talk to your head coach, you tell them, listen, the longer this takes, the less time that you have for practice. You're going to miss more time at practice. If I can get through this quicker with this data, that means
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to talk to parents. I will handle all the emails. I will handle all of the communication back and forth about picture day.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things are things he doesn't want to deal with anyway. So you're taking that pain point off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
talk to them.
anytime, like you were saying, find out who that real decision maker is. I think that is one of the real keys is, are you talking to the school secretary or are you talking to the athletic director who's going to make the real decisions? And you can, I mean, you're a magnanimous person. You're making friends all along. You're building relationships all along the
this
way with
this
coaches
business is
and
really all about relationships, and you need to have that established before you ever take a picture. So have that conversation, meet with the coach if you can.
that's
Take
right. That's
five
right.
minutes and just go in and talk to him and say, hey, I'm going to be doing your photos. Just thought I'd introduce myself.
Mhm.
Don't want to take up any of your time, but if you could get me that roster, that would be outstanding, and here's how it will help you. So
Yes. I
but
think that also goes toward looking at finding the real decision maker, goes toward learning to speak as a trusted partner,
yeah.
getting in there and becoming known to everyone, that sort of thing.
Yeah, if you're getting pushback from a secretary, 9 times out of 10, her job is to protect the kids and make sure
Mhm.
that people aren't getting their information. And I understand that. That is really the primary. But if you're there to shoot their school photos, fall and spring, and then yearbook, um, then honestly, you need that data. You can't do the job without it. You need to
Mhm.
know what kid goes to what class, which is which teacher.
Mhm.
It needs to it needs to be deliverables. So you've got your ID tags.
Mhm.
Any other things that you're providing have to have that kid's reference in there. So they should trust you. They've hired you. You have a contract. You've already discussed what you're going to provide them. This is one of those things that they provide you. So it
Yes.
needs to be in the contract, discussed with your decision makers. Sometimes it's the PTA that deals with it,
Yep.
but you're asking the secretary. Go back to your PTA contact. Say, listen, I need this data. Can you
Mhm.
get it for me? That way, they'll go through the process and tell the secretary, hey, I'm the PTA president. Our
Yes.
photographer who's doing our photos needs the school data.
Yep.
Period. If that doesn't work, vice principal, principal, but
Yep.
find out who that trusted advisor, or find out who that communication needs to go to, and be their trusted advisor. So,
All right. And then if all else fails and we
all
can't
else fails, you tell
cannot
them
get
you're
She's an
getting
old
it
battle axe, and you're not getting past her.
right. You're just I tell them if
There's
I'm
ways
getting
to
this
get
data
this
anyway,
information.
you're
Yep.
always slowing me down. I mean, I plead with them. You're only going to slow the process down by me not having this information because I'm going to get it from them anyway. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to take all this information and they're going to be like, okay, well, why are we doing it this way? Why don't you already have the school has it or the team has it or the coach
Mhm.
has it?
Yeah.
You know, just tell them it's going to take more time. It'll
Yeah.
slow it down. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
I can't
you
imagine anyone saying no to you, Brian. You come in and you're so professional and so, like I said before, magnanimous. And I think you do, you have to stand on who you are. This is a business. I'm running a business. This is necessary for me to run my business.
I'm in the business of making kids look fantastic. I want
You
them to be proud
are.
of their images. I want them to love what they look like, and I want them to
Yes,
feel like the superstars that they aspire to be. I want them to
yes,
feel like they're heroes and look like that, and have images that go with it. It brings up their self-esteem.
yeah.
It increases their level of play, whatever. And you can't do that if you're fumbling around messing with order forms and
Yes,
image
that's
numbers
correct.
and all of that. So
That's correct. You've got all the time now, as we discussed in the first
yeah,
episode. Not spending all that time on the front end with the envelopes and all that sort of stuff gives you more time to hone your craft.
yeah,
Well, okay,
absolutely.
so I guess that Brian, if you are finished with that
Yeah,
subject,
I'm good to take questions if we got any.
we've concluded the pre-planned portion of the webinar. So
Some of
I
it was
will
unplanned.
stop sharing the unplanned. And now we're on to the unplanned, which is always fun. We always love it. So again, use the Q&A button on your Zoom console and let's have some questions. Philip,
Yeah,
are there questions out there?
we do. We have a couple of questions from Midori. First one, if there are photos with profile views, will they still show up when parents use FaceFind?
I've had it happen where they work, and I've had it happen where they don't work. It really depends on how much of a profile. I believe it needs to be kind of a three-quarter profile, kind of about like this. It needs to be able to see, something in here. It'll still do a full profile because it can map, from the eye to the ear to the nose. It's still kind of it's pretty crazy how accurate it is. But there are some instances with motion in say action games and stuff where you've got a helmet on and there's
Yeah.
part of the face is already obscured. That makes it really really hard for face find. But once you get into it and figure out what is captured and how easy it is, you can start shooting so that you make sure you get what you need to make it easier.
Great. And then Midori is also asking, can we see the process from a parent's perspective? Do you have a way to show that, Brian?
Well, honestly, as far as Photoday itself, you can set up your own demo gallery, but I believe that Photoday has a demo gallery. I think
Brian,
I
I'm actually trying to log into one of my accounts. I'm going to see if I can
Yeah.
go
was going
in
to say I could
and
probably show it to you on my phone and
I was just
ask
going to
them.
grab a link, but you go ahead.
Let me see what I
You're
can
much
find here.
more adept at that. Does anyone else have any more questions? There's Roddy again. Hi, Roddy. You've got to have some questions as well. Did you capture enough to understand what we were talking about with the Capture app? We have Dave Levin, Dennis Wilkerson.
All right, we're going to try and share my screen again here.
Okay.
All right. This is just a list of the galleries that I'm subscribed into. This isn't all of them, but it's most of them. So let's find your photos. You can use Face Find or tags.
And so this is
I'm going to use
when,
tags.
Brian, let me ask you a question. So what was that first screen? That was, you said those were the galleries you were subscribed to. So if you're a parent
and you opt into your gallery, this is what it's going to look like in the Photoday app on your phone.
Every gallery you're opted into, that's what you'll see.
Right. So if you've got a kid in basketball and a girl in gymnastics and another in cheer, and I'm shooting all of them, and I'm using Photoday. You subscribe, and you're going to see all of those photos or all of those galleries available to you. So
Yep.
I'm just going to pick this one. We're going to use tags, and this is how I um, went ahead and graded it out so that they could find their stuff faster.
And of course, he's not going to use face find because he doesn't have a face to find in the. He's got no one to photograph in the gallery.
Let me see here. Let me open the job. Let me go back to this job. I guarantee you this will work. So.
You're going to face find it on your computer. You're going to take a
you
picture.
can, and honestly, that's a way that if you don't have a reference image for some reason, but you've got pictures, you can literally say, okay, I want to put this one picture as a reference image, and it will gather all the other images.
Oh, nice.
So photos, I don't know. Let's just grab one. Let's go back. I'm going to have to add a photo. Of course, it's not loading my photos because I've got 710 in here.
Oh my. Right.
Well, and I'm streaming as well as casting, and so, oh, there we are. So let's see this.
Some more of your great work. I just love it.
Let's go ahead. I'm going to take this kid's photo. All right, so there we go. I'm going to take it and see you fill the screen just like this. Boom. And so now I am going to find that kid's photo.
Now, okay, so it's going to look in just that gallery. Look at that.
Actually, that I believe is looking in. This is an open gallery. I don't think this is even a private gallery. If a private gallery, I would have had to just look at his photos, I think. So there they are. Okay, let me get rid of this. I got a lot of stuff on my screen. So there we are. All right, so you can see.
So what if they want to buy something from one of those images?
All right, we'll just do a quick walkthrough. So I really like this photo. Let's just take that one. So it comes up and you say, well, as soon as it loads, somebody in my driveway. All right, cool. Well, let's just hit buy. It's going to load it eventually. Who knows? It may not. Oh, you know what? It may not because inside the Photoday app, they have screenshot protection. So if they're using the app, they can't screenshot it, which means you may not actually be able to see the image because it's blocking it from being viewed. I think that's probably why we're having that issue. But so packages. I remember. I think Lisa had this issue.
Okay.
When she was trying to do something.
Well, that's okay. But so typically the image would then load, and then they would say buy. They would click buy, and then they would be shown your packages and your advanced pays and all that, right?
Yep. I don't even care. We're just going to show you a package. We'll show. I don't know if it's going to show you guys the image. Yeah. It gives you a thumbnail. So now you have to hit customize, and this is all from the parent's perspective. They're going to have to do this on the web or through the app, either way.
Okay.
So here's a 4x5. It's not going to show you the image because it's protecting the screenshot.
Got it.
Because I'm casting.
Okay, so this is where they would rotate it or crop it or do whatever.
If they don't like that and they don't want that image, they can go ahead and hit change image. Yes. Which takes you back to the gallery. Then you click the image and it brings it back in here, and that's the one. And then you hit confirm. Success. So then you move on to the next product. Now you've got another one. Confirm.
Got it.
This would be a 5x7. Unfortunately, I can't show you how it crops things, but you get the point.
That's okay. So that's all right.
I'm just going to run through these and confirm every single one because I know they work.
I encourage you. It is free to set up a Photoday account. So I do encourage you, if you're curious, to go ahead and set up a Photoday account and upload some images, play around with that interface. I know that you're going to grow to really love it. And really understand how you can fit that into your workflow.
Right. And I want to bring some attention to this right here. Some photos are not available for download products. You see this team photo right here? Mm-hmm. In your dashboard, you can select an image and say, I don't want this for sale for download. And usually I do that for my team photos. so that one team mom doesn't order a high res and split it with 5 other team parents, and now they all paid $3 for a team photo, and they can all go ahead and print it however and wherever they want.
Exactly.
Um, I don't guarantee print quality outside of my lab. So if you buy a digital image and you go print somewhere, I don't guarantee that your print, that your color is going to match what you see on my screen and what you see on their screen.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
there's no
think that's
guarantee.
standard. I think that's standard.
Yeah. So
So Philip, do we have
let's
any
see.
more questions?
Yeah, Midori has another question here. How do you handle those images that can't be found with Face Find so that the parents can see them anyway?
Let me go back and get out of this. So there are a couple of ways to mitigate that when in the list. I guess we'll just show that too. Who knows? And get out of this because we don't need to be in there. Jobs. Capture. Okay, so screen share that one. All right, so I can never tell which one's being shared and which one is actually on my computer. All right, so if we go back into photos, if there was one, it says there's one ignored face, which is Stella, but if it didn't get matched up, there's ways. Let's see here. So, okay, here's how you find your people again. And this is where it helps to have tags set up and other things. But you can literally go through here and say, this is the one that I want to find. I want to search by all subjects with a reference photo, all subjects with matched photos. I just go with a reference photo. There are no recommended photos with no, okay, so that was with no reference photo. All subjects with a reference photo. And then you can scroll through here and find it. Or then you can simplify it out, search by grade, last name, first name, added. So we did grade. I think these are all old. So now you simplified it even more. And that's how you would just apply that. So
you were talking about going through and manually matching them
right
on your own.
But
right.
when you get down to that point, and these all have names to them because I've already had their data. But if you know that you've got maybe a handful of them over here, it really won't be a ton. If you've done a decent job and well lit your reference photo and filled the screen with the green dot or the green dotted line, and filled that with their face, you're going to get good capture images. However, with your profile photo issue, that depends. I really have no guarantee on, profile could be everything from this all the way to completely sideways. So
right.
I can't guarantee one way or the other.
Sure. It probably has to have a certain number of those reference points, and so to find a certain percentage of them.
Yep. So let's see. Are you using composite software to do all those composites, be able to upload them in a timely manner? Yes, I am. And I'm using, I wouldn't do it any other way. When I first started this 6 years ago doing composites, I started offering composites about 6 years ago, and I was doing them all by hand, which really limited the number of poses I was providing. I was only giving them one or two because I didn't want to spend all day doing a small basketball team, manually dropping in each one, manually changing.
I know what it takes to make those designs, and it's
and so now it's I use PixNub software, and it's the two pieces that I use primarily are Easy Green Screen, which is my extraction software, or SPA, which is Sports Photo Automator, and that's what actually composites everything together. So you select your target folder, you select your images folder, you tell it what template you want it in. You can use a CSV file of all the data, which is where having all this data comes in handy. You can literally change the name as the images change. You can add numbers, so player numbers. You can rename the file. So by the time it's all done, it comes in as image number 1234.jpg, and it comes out as Billy Martin 010203.jpg. So That's really it's very powerful. It uses a lot of things in Photoshop that most people don't even know exist because they just haven't delved into it very deeply. But all of these things have been there forever. I think it's what nodes and mappable fields, and there's all kinds of stuff that you can do manually. But Sports Photo Automator has made it into a panel in Photoshop that you literally just run all of these processes, and it runs it for you.
That's awesome. Hey, Brian and Dennis. Brian, you're going to be here. Dennis, be sure and join us next week because we're going to talk more about Brian's favorites and things that he does in his own personal business. We'll get away from Photoday, and you'll be able to ask him lots of questions about his work, about his shooting techniques and style, and what he uses, that sort of thing. So definitely, you guys, if you're interested in Brian's process outside of Photoday, absolutely tune in next week. I think that one's going to be really terrific.
Should be fun.
It should be fun, and I'm wearing tie-dye, so.
Well, and we may get.
I may burn a little incense.
I may do extractions right here on screen. Who knows?
Oh, awesome. That'll be terrific. Yeah, Brian, I actually, as I said before, I went to a photo shoot of his, and we actually filmed him setting up everything, and it really is a process, and he really has gotten it down to, what did you say that photo shoot took you an hour and a half, and how many kids did you do?
It was about 40. I think there were 48 players total.
Yeah, and that was with us running around filming him and getting in his face and everything. So
well, and I always spend more time because I have more time without forms and using Photoday. Yeah. I've got more time to spend with each kid. I can, I spend more time, and I don't mind that. And the coach is like, yeah, when they're done, just ship them outside. So he doesn't worry about it.
I was amazed actually at the number of poses that you have. 16, 18 poses for these kids. I'm sure one of them is the team composite.
I tend to do 3 to 5, like, just poses for mom. So, hand in the glove and the
smiling nice, yes,
of that one.
Yes.
So, there's two poses just in one, and then I'll do a 3/4 length, or I'll do a full length, or I'll do a right side and left side, because only mom knows which side they want of their kid,
Yep.
So,
yep.
Bat over the shoulder, bat on the ground, bat across the, run them all, because you're going to sell them. You can do multiple poses on Photoday. It's the whole point of being able to sell online, is giving them the choices and being able to get that extra sale. The more product you have, your product is your images.
Absolutely.
If you've only got 2 images of each kid, you don't got much product. So
absolutely. And I mean, this online platform for photo sales, this makes buddy pics and all that stuff so easy. The things you had to step outside of your normal workflow to get done for a customer, now it's easy peasy. You can do it for everyone.
I think I said in our last webinar that I was having to just give those photos away because there was no way to sell them. So I would literally just throw an extra 5x7 of, somebody's dog came up and was being real cute with the kid, licking him or something.
Yeah.
I caught it, but I had no way to sell it. It wasn't like I could make money off it. Now I just upload it. Instead of giving it away, I upload it. Yep. Mom buys it. Yep. The little sister that wants to be like her big sister and be in the picture. The temper tantrum, soccer kids, 4-year-olds throwing temper tantrum, the leg huggers, you get the leg in there. So what? Don't wait for them to be there. Just take the picture. Who knows what mom's going to want to buy?
Yeah. Don't say no for them.
Exactly.
That's what I say.
No, your job's not to say no. Your job's to say yes. So
let me do that. And I think that's one of the really terrific parts of Capture App as well. If you're on site and you're shooting an event, we're talking about action shots or something like that, you can post around the links, post around the event, and they can go, you're uploading immediately, and they can go online and they can see those shots being uploaded as they're uploaded. That's as the event's going on.
Yeah.
it's technology.
I know
I
guys
love
that are
it.
shooting. I know guys that are shooting in a trailer in Texas, and they're literally uploading as they go.
Mhm,
They're doing
mhm,
game photos, they're doing game action, and they're doing,
mhm.
team photos. And as soon as that's done, they got a station right there, and they're uploading it, and boom, it's ready to go. So,
There you go.
you
That's
know,
right. Yes, they can create the station for them to order themselves. Just have it there so they can go and,
yeah, just log
oh,
in
that's
and
just,
make your purchase, and you're done.
see,
So,
this opens volume photography. If you're new to volume photography, this really does, I think, open up the possibilities to you as a volume photographer as well. Events that just you couldn't see how you could market that, how you could capture that, how you could sell that. You can now with Photo Day because it's right there. It's on the spot. You can start, making sales before the event's even over.
yeah, absolutely.
I
There are
absolutely, this is genius.
there are just so many ways to utilize photo day that I mean, some people have got some of the greatest processes for action and for dance and for, I mean, you name
Yes,
it, somebody's using it a different way. It isn't just this is
that's
the
right.
way it's supposed to be used and this is the only way it can be used. It is completely flexible, and there are ways around
Yep,
things, and that's why it's
yep,
important. If you're not
yep.
in photo day currently, the user group is a great place for
That's right.
resources. You get our trailblazers, you get all of us trailblazers that are in there
Hmm.
constantly talking about
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
We're answering your questions.
Hmm.
There's a ton of resources in the academy, which is the webinars and all of this stuff. There's
Yep.
a little point right in your dashboard called Academy. You click on it, and all of the webinars and all of the discussions, and the Friday they were doing every Friday, um, kind of state of the day or state of the week type of
Hmm.
process, and so they'd answer questions and. But get in that user group because somebody is eventually using it the way that you want to use it, or might have a better
That's right.
idea. I've learned a ton of stuff from other photographers and how they are utilizing
Hmm.
PhotoDay.
That's
Um,
right.
you know,
That's right. I've seen that. I've monitored that group as well, and it's a wealth of information. And everyone in there is so nice and so helpful, and they're all learning just like everyone else is, how to really use Photo Day to really take your studio sales to that next level, and really, what is it? Average order value,
AOV.
20% boost right when you start using it. You don't even have to do anything different. People are so happy to be able to buy their school photos, their sports photos on their phone
Yeah.
where it's convenient for them to do it, where
Well, and
everybody's buying everything these days. We're ordering our groceries, we're getting our clothing. Why not our photos? That's the
well, and the
way
pandemic
people want to
really,
order.
really, this was
It
all
did.
kind of new and cutting edge a couple of
Hmm.
years ago, and people
Hmm.
weren't
Hmm.
really comfortable with it, and they didn't really want to
Right.
do it. And I'll tell you, one thing the pandemic did was make it so that we are all really comfortable about doing all kinds of stuff online that we didn't do before.
That's
Um,
right.
I
That's
mean,
right. Well, and even before the pandemic, schools and leagues were recognizing the technology and what it could do for them, and in freeing up the school secretary. She didn't have to deal with,
right.
handing out the envelopes, handing out the pictures. She's like, hey, wait a minute. They go online and I don't have to deal with anything. She's down with that. And even before the pandemic, they were starting to ask for that technology, which is what, of course, Photo Day.
Well, and PhotoDay has leveled the playing field for us to
Yes,
compete against bigger
that's
box
right.
companies. And
That's right.
as an independent photographer, we are able to offer the same conveniences and the same level of
Mhm.
service, better service. We're local.
Mhm.
Why would you go to a company that's not even like in your state? Just
Right.
you've got right there. When you call Brian Derenski Photography, guess what? I don't have a secretary. I don't have an assistant.
You
You
talk to
get me,
Brian.
chief cook and bottle washer. If there's a mistake, I own it. It's mine. I will not shy away from any errors. I will address them as quickly as possible,
Mhm.
and that's the benefits of using a local photographer is that you're going to
Mhm.
get that relationship with them.
Absolutely. These big box We won't name them. Those guys can,
Yeah.
yes. Anyway, so we know that we can compete now, and Photoday has brought that to us. And I did mention at the beginning of the webinar that there are several great options for online photo sales. What I find in doing my research, the biggest difference is going to be fee scale and how they charge you for what they do for you. And for my part, Photoday has the most reasonable. You don't have to put in a big investment and worry that you're going to get that investment back. They're passing your fees off to that end user. So everything's the same for you basically, because they put their 10% on top. I do think that is, after doing all the research, that is probably the best fee scale to the photographer.
For us, for photographers, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think it's the best way to do it. I think they did it right. And they really put a lot of thought into it. They didn't just we're just going to do. They really thought about how can we benefit the photographer and make this work for them so that it's not so complicated. We don't have to calculate a bunch of stuff and figure out, how many thousands of photos am I going to. Yeah. So some of them are based on, you get a fee discount based on how many hundreds of thousands of photos you take a year, or how many you're going to upload, or what your sales are. Photoday really makes it so that, you don't have to sell $400,000 in a month, to make it worth your while. It's what you sell. It's based on how much you sell. So,
and you don't have to, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have to pay to be in an exclusive club to get some idea of what this involves, what work is on your side. It's free to sign up with Photoday. Basically you don't pay anything. The customer pays it.
You don't pay anything, and it only comes out after there's a sale.
Yeah, so get in there, mess around with it. The interface is really super easy. The bubble is very responsive. That's the chat bubble on their website. Absolutely, the groups are very responsive. Call us. You can call Black River Imaging. You'll most likely talk to Philip. And we'll help you out. Anything you need, you need.
We're here for your success. Photoday, the users group is really that we're so helpful because we want everyone to succeed. That's really kind of one of the points of being a trailblazer is you're helping everyone else succeed. And I think I said before, a rising sea lifts all boats. So if we are all educating each other and we're learning from each other, the whole industry will benefit from all of this information being something that, you don't have to be the cheapest photographer on the planet. Here's how to do it. Here's how to make money. Here's how we're making money. Let's be open about it and share that information so that we're bringing everybody along. So
there's enough to go around.
Yeah, the culture at Photoday. You see the success and you see what the communication and stuff inside the user group, and that's really because of the culture at Photoday itself. The all the way from the programmers all the way up to customer service, they are all really just there to help. So
yeah. Hey, so Midori has another question. She says, for the private galleries, since everyone has their own codes, how do you give those codes to each family through email?
Your email. Inside your gallery or inside the job is a marketing tab, and in that marketing tab, you set up flyers. They are email flyers, and it sends directly from inside there. You don't have to send it to MailChimp or any other mail service. It's all built into Photoday, so you just send that stuff from there. So they pull the emails out of your CSV file data, and you can send it to a group. You can send multiple emails, but you can also send it to specific groups. You can send it to one person. There's always one mom that says, hey, I can't find that email, can you send it to me again? Sure. Go back into the marketing tab, pull up that email, pull up that flyer, click send, tell her where tell it where it needs to go and to who. And you can click as many people as you want. You can click 1 or 10 or 100, however many. But it goes through Photoday, so they send it out through their system. There's nothing else you need to do. It's pre-designed templates and all of that.
They thought of that. They've thought of that
They
for you,
did. They thought of
Midori.
a lot of things, and they're
Okay,
still thinking of things.
she has another question. Do you find issues with how parents have cropped their images since they can't actually see them while they're cropping them with that screenshot blocker? No, that only happens to us because we're
That only happened
the
here
screen.
because I'm trying to show you through a computer. The screenshot blocker did not differentiate display versus screenshot. It's just not showing you there. They get to see everything. As a matter of fact, they see it live as you're cropping it. They have to confirm that crop. Yeah, you're going to get people that just don't pay attention. They just hit go 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 go, and they don't think. They just click through it. Sure, you're going to have some issues with some cropping. It happens, but if you use a lab like Black River Imaging, you will find that they catch a good portion of that stuff. Not every time, but 99.9% of the time they put eyeballs on everything. So
we put eyeballs on everything, and I will tell you that there are a couple of times that we've actually gotten in trouble because we've quote fixed a crop that we thought that the customer must have been mistaken. She didn't want to crop like that. Oh yeah, they did. We had to remake it because we cropped it. There was one, I remember thinking when I was looking at it, oh, maybe they did this on purpose. What they had done was the photographer had uploaded a memory make composite that they had made. Well, they just cropped in on the single image. I don't know why they did that. They didn't want the entire composite, and maybe they didn't have a single image offered to them.
yeah.
So they just cropped in on, and actually what they did was they cropped in on like the name and the image, so the crop was kind of off around the image. We fixed it to include the entire memory made, and we had to redo it and crop it.
Never assume you understand the customer.
we do not second guess, but obviously what we try to do is, I'm not going to suggest second guess someone's artistic vision. But if I'm looking at an image and I'm seeing that, it's cropped here and I've got bottom of the tennis shoes, as a photographer, I'm not sure that's what the photographer would have wanted. It seems to me like I know that cutoff guide, like don't cut off at a joint, so cut off between the ankle and the knee, So we're going to make that shot look as good as we possibly can in the interest of the photographer, what the photographer would want, because that's who we're here to serve, is you. So like I said, we lay eyes on every Photoday order that goes through. I personally do it really early in the morning as I'm having my coffee and waking up, just to make sure that everyone is, that we're putting out a product that the photographer would want to see in their customer's hands. We don't want it to go out. We even check for misspellings and stuff like that. If you can imagine, we know when Alabama, it's a typo. We know that. So,
well, and then you get photographers like me who can't type, and so we transpose letters. So
I do that as well. So we try to help you out like that. Okay, she's got one more question. Thanks, she says. Can we order school IDs and file folder labels through Photoday? File folder labels.
Not that I'm aware of. That is something you have to work with your lab outside of Photoday. They don't. That's why when you can export your there are exports for your data, so you can export the image file. So I think there's a yearbook file. So there's the PSP file type, which is an inclusion of a specific each of your featured images. So each kid has a feature image. You're starring that. And that is selected as your export. So that'll be the kid's photo yearbook image. That gets exported in with another CSV file and included in the folder. And then you can send that out to any service or a lab that provides that to you. Yearbook. You have to work with your lab to make sure that works.
And we actually have developed a little bit of a manual process, so we can actually do that for you through Photoday. As I said, right now it's a little bit of a manual process. It's sort of a concerted effort between us and Photoday. We've done it for a couple of other customers, and we certainly could do it again. We're getting better at it as we go along. It's a manual process, so but yeah, we could certainly do that.
But the way you do that is you do the export. So you're in your photo data and you export it. And there are three different ways there are three different formats to do that in, and you can look that up on the inside your job gallery. So.
Well, awesome. We're running out of time quickly, so we're going to conclude this webinar. We thank you for being here. And again, you guys are going to want to really join us next week if you're interested in Brian's workflow outside of Photoday and other picking his brain. I tell you, his work is amazing. I know that he has a system and a workflow. You guys are going to want to join us next week. Thank you guys for being here again. It was so much fun. I learned so much. We hope you learned a lot too. Join us next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.